Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at pitching for today, the 29th of April. It is Tuesday. We do have a 10-game main slate ahead of us. I do not believe we have any real weather concerns. It looks like all the weather concerns are on the 5-game early slate. And by early, I mean it starts all of 55 minutes before the regular slate. But for this video, we're just going to focus on this main slate. And by the looks of it, we should be good. Some slight winds blowing out in a couple places. Tampa Bay can be pretty warm. And obviously, we've been targeting some offense in that ballpark. So we can take a look at the pitching without much for concerns. A reminder, this is a first look video. First look at the pitching options on the slate. I do try to go more in depth for the members at TFS Army. I will be utilizing DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you play on FanDuel, I would cut my pool into a half or so. You don't have to be as creative. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You are able to get the stacks you want with an upper tier-ish pitcher. With that said, let's dive in. Kansas City, Tampa Bay, not really interested in much. Taj Bradley does intrigue me, just because I play him all the time. K's have been down the last couple, walks are up. Kansas City, not a huge K team. Bradley's K prop is at 5.5, which is on the under. He is plus 150 to earn the W. Tampa Bay is minus 155. So some of the prop numbers obviously intrigue me enough about him to consider him. I have a feeling he's just not going to end up in the pool. He did cross the 100 pitch mark. Did receive an extra day of rest after that. I think things are decent for Bradley. I just don't really know that we want to go there. Crochet versus Francis. I haven't checked on the recent Boston strikeout numbers. Obviously, we know they started out the first few weeks of the season leading baseball in strikeouts. I know Colorado did pass them, but I'm not sure where it stands at this moment in time. With that said, Bowden Francis is a guy that I've played probably a little too much this season. His best two starts have been his two home starts where he's at this evening. The game total is just 7.5. Francis is K prop at 4.5 with juice on the over. But he is plus 275 to earn the win, which is probably the worst on the slate as far as the guys that I wrote down in front of me right before I started recording this. 2 earned runs are less than 3 of 5 starts, but some home run balls. He's not a huge K guy. Pitch total's only been in the 70s the last 2 starts as well. For a guy like this that would just his points kind of rely on going deeper into games. We need him in the 90 pitch range. So with that, I have a feeling Francis isn't going to make my pool, even though I do like the K matchup. Upside, I just know that he can struggle with left-handed bats. Garrett Crochet coming off of a rough start against Seattle. Strikeouts were there, but walks were high. 110 pitches, 3 starts so far over 100 pitches. Always nice to see that they're allowing guys to go longer. Obviously, like I mentioned, Toronto is not much for Ks. Crochet's tied for the 3rd best K prop at 6.5 with juice on the under. He is tied for the 3rd best win odds at plus 120. Crochet definitely going to be in play no matter who he faces, to be honest. He did face this Toronto squad once, allowed just 1 earned. There are 4 runs involved in that, but just 1 earned, 4 walks, and his 2nd lowest strikeout performance of the season at just 5. Some of that I think can be focused on the fact that it was early season. He only struck out 4 in his first start of the year. Strikeouts have been up since then. I would kind of guess that he sees an increase in strikeouts. That K number of 6.5 seems pretty accurate to me. Arizona and the Mets, not really all that interested here. I do have a little bit of interest in David Peterson. He's been throwing the ball pretty well this season. As much as I like Arizona, I prefer them against right-handed pitching right now. The guys that we might normally rely on against left-handed pitching, such as Gurriel, Moreno, have not really been getting it done. Most of the production has been from left-handed bats, plus Suarez, who's just a home run or a strikeout at this point. I think that Peterson is very interesting, so I did write him down. He's plus 190 to earn the W, which does seem high. His K-prop's just 4.5. Basically, I pick him, but the Mets are minus 142 favorites in this one. So I do think that Peterson might find a way into my pool, at least a sprinkle at this point. I'm not highlighting the White Sox because we're never using a White Sox pitcher, or I shouldn't say never, but most likely not using it. Freddie Peralta's K numbers have gone down each start. They're just trending in a negative direction. With that said, the White Sox, arguably the worst team on the slate, second worst, Colorado. I mean, it's those two teams clearly are the worst in baseball. K-prop is 6.5, juice on the over. He's tied with Bryce Miller for the best K-prop. He's minus 105 to earn the W. Outs prop 17.5 with juice on the over, which is tied with a bunch of guys for second behind Logan Webb. The Brewers are minus 238 favorites. Game total just 8, juice on the under. Everything just lines up for Freddie Peralta. I really think that he should be the most expensive pitcher on this particular slate. He's not, but it is close enough. The Athletics and the Rangers, the game that ruined my Monday night. Super heavily invested in the bats in this game between these two teams, and they disappointed. With that said, DeGrom, somebody that I started out using, that I kind of backed off, and now I'm kind of back in the I should probably use category. Same scenario as last night, facing the Athletics in back-to-back starts. That should give a boost to the ace hitters. But DeGrom tied with Crochet for the third best K-prop at 6.5, juice on the under. The Athletics are the Rangers, not the Athletics. The Rangers are minus 218 favorites, which is the second largest favorite on the slate. DeGrom plus 100, which is second to Peralta, to earn the W on this particular slate. And his outs props at 17.5 with juice on the under. So just so much lining up for DeGrom. We get him at the second lowest price point he's been to begin the season. Gonna have to go there. I will be stacking some A's a little bit here and there, but DeGrom's definitely gonna make it. Lopez, I don't think I'm gonna get there, but I did read about his appearances in the minors after being sent down, or at some point, because he would have made 2 starts in the minors between the last time he pitched in the majors and today. So I'll have to look back at the times on those. With that said, I'm just going to go right back to the Rangers bats against the left-handed pitcher here. I just don't think, he's not really a guy that we expected to be a starting pitcher, so I don't think he's going to be all that special. So for me, I'm just not going to go there. I would guess that he's probably ends up being a 4-inning type guy. Detroit, Houston. We loved this game for pitching last night, and that kind of disappointed us. Flaherty started out hot and then kind of fell apart. A couple home runs ruined that. Blanco just allowed some race runners, wasn't overly sharp. But we get this matchup. Game total is just 7.5 with juice on the under. Basically was a pick'em when I wrote down the notes. Olsen's plus 170 to earn the W, Augusto's plus 250. Olsen's K-prop at 4.5 with juice on the under. Coming off of back-to-back really strong starts, trending up. 2 strong starts against teams that don't strike out very much as well, in Kansas City and San Diego. I really like the way that he's throwing the baseball right now. I definitely prefer Olsen in this matchup, even though Gusto has the better K-prop at 5.5 with juice on the under. Gusto is only plus 250 to earn the W, though. With that said, I talked about Gusto before this Toronto start. Didn't use him just because I didn't like the matchup from a K number standpoint. But he went out there and struck out the most batters that he had this season. What I did mention is that I've been somewhat impressed by Gusto and his stuff. That I think he's somebody that has the ability to ascend to be a strong starting pitcher, not a stud by any means or anything, but a guy that we should consider occasionally. And tonight might be a night to consider him. Pitch count up to 80 last time out, extra day of rest. Been kind of trending that direction, so it's nice. Is mainly, I mean, I don't know if he's really mainly a ground ball pitcher, but seeing San Diego hit so many on the ground, more ground balls in the Toronto matchup, it might be something that we look into and pay attention to. I think Gusto's in play for us today, as weird as it might sound. Atlanta, I don't think I can take Smith-Shawver. Man, it's tough. His last start in the major leagues was pretty solid before getting sent down. But it is in Coors. The game total is 11. His K-Prop's 4.5 with juice on the over because we know that Colorado strikes out a lot. And we've been picking on Colorado with as much as possible. But can we really rely on Smith-Shawver? I'm not really sure. Bryce Miller, probably one of the strongest plays on the slate as far as from a prop standpoint. He's really only had one start where we had to play him at, a second one where he's real solid. He's tied with Peralta at 6.5 on the K-Prop with juice on the over. Plus 120 to earn the W, which is tied with Crochet. Game total 7.5 juice on the over, but he's minus 175 favorite. I think he's somebody that people are just going to play a lot of. Hit the 100 pitch mark in 2 out of his last 3 starts. Overall, I think the Angels are a team that we end up picking on more than not at the end of the season. I think Bryce Miller is just somebody that we're going to be playing. San Francisco, San Diego, the best pitching matchup of the evening. A little shocked to see that Logan Webb is a slight favorite on the road. San Francisco's minus 125. He's plus 135 to earn the W. K-Prop of 5.5 is a pick'em. On the other side, Pivetta is plus 215 to earn the W, but his K-Prop's at 5.5 with juice on the over. Game total is just 6.5 on this game. Just a great spot for pitching. Obviously, it's not San Francisco, the ballpark, but it is San Diego, and that is a strong pitcher's park as well. Not sure what Webb has been like in his career against San Diego, but 97 plus pitches, 5 straight starts, 3 of them go 100 plus. Obviously, an extreme ground ball guy. Can dial up the strikeouts when he needs them as well so far this season. Definitely somebody that we want to be heavy on. On the other side, Pivetta, been phenomenal. 1 earned or less in 4 of 5 starts. Just 1 big K performance. But 4 of the 5 starts have seen him go for 24 plus fantasy points. I like him quite a bit. I think his upside might be greater than Webb in this spot. But San Diego has struggled offensively with their injuries, since Merrill went down. Arise. I thought I saw a rumor that Arise might be activated today, so that would change their lineup a little bit and probably lower Webb's strikeout upside some. Last game, Dodgers are supposedly going with a bullpen game. Alcantara hasn't looked great this season. His props are interesting. He's plus 210 to earn the W. K-prop of 4.5 with juice on the over. Outs prop over 17.5. But he is an underdog against the Dodgers. At this point, I might want to just play the wait and see game for Alcantara and see him kind of get sharp. But he did cross the 100 pitch mark, which is always a positive. But anyways, there we have it. There's our first look at pitching on the slate. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Get the alert anytime we drop videos here at DFS Army. If you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.